Namaste, thanks for practicing with me today. We're going to use a belt. You can use a traditional yoga strap or any sort of belt you'd use to secure your pants. And just have that set to the side so that it's ready for you when we get there. We're going to find a comfortable seat today, and we're going to start with what's called Linga Mudra. This mudra helps alleviate and prevent infections in the respiratory system in the chest. And so what we're going to do is we're going to interlace the four fingers. You're going to take that thumb, I'll come a little closer, let's see. We're going to take one of your thumbs upright, and then the other thumb and the top index finger connect to create that circle or a loop around that upright thumb. So finding that seat with our Linga Mudra, and then closing the eyes and just allowing the exhalations to lengthen and become a little more thorough, in which we're squishing all of the air out of the lungs. And letting any bumps or pauses or rushes of air begin to smooth out. And checking in with the rest of the body, softening the face, the eyes, the jaw, the tongue, the shoulders, the abdomen. Even allowing, even as we're holding our mudra, letting the hands relax as much as possible. And we're going to begin a pranayama practice that I've called the trapezoidal breath. It's based on the square breath, Samavriti pranayama. But the trapezoidal breath helps build lung capacity. And so what we're going to do is inhale for a count of 4. Hold the lungs full for a count of 2. Exhale to a count of 8. And hold the lungs empty for a count of 2. I'll count you through the first 3 rounds, and then I'll give you some time to adjust either the counting in its pace or the number, just trying to stay true to that ratio. And so we'll sync up our breaths, exhaling all the air out of the lungs. And then inhale for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause for 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 2, 1. And then continue that on your own pace. We're going to take one more full round. And when you're finished with that, you can blink the eyes open. We're going to lean back. We're going to switch which shin bone or ankles in front. And then breathe in and reach the arms up overhead. As you exhale, we'll find a twist to the right. You're going to float your hands above the floor and that right knee so that you encourage the core to start warming up a little bit. Meanwhile, you can let the shoulders relax if it's comfortable for the neck, gazing over that right shoulder. Breathing in, you'll feel the spine lengthen a little bit, and as you exhale and the lungs compress, you can then find a little bit deeper twist. And then you can release the hand to the floor and the knee, allowing the arms to assist but not be like the sole source of our twist, maintaining a little bit of that core strength. And you're going to keep the left hand to that right knee and reach the right arm up and overhead, finding a side bend. Anchor the right sits bone down and feel how that allows you to lengthen the right side body just a little more. Feel free to relax the head to that left shoulder if that's comfortable for the neck. Last breath in, and then exhale to come upright. So then inhaling, sweeping the arms up. Exhale to find our twist to the left, floating the hands above that knee and the floor. Allowing the shoulders and the jaw to relax, the breath to remain smooth and slow. And the gaze might be over that left shoulder. And then releasing the hands, maintaining your twist. And keeping that right hand to the left knee, reach the left arm up and overhead. Breathing space into your left side body, anchoring the left sits bone heavily into the floor. And on your exhale, coming back upright, we're going to roll over the ankles to find table. And so stacking the wrists right under shoulders, knees under hips. Your index fingers are parallel with each other. The biceps are rolling forwards. And so finding that the forearms stay parallel to each other by continuing that rotation of the biceps forwards and out, and you're going to begin to bend the elbows a little bit. Be mindful that they don't bend out to the side, but rather they're going straight back. And you might just find a micro bend, or they might go halfway to the floor, or almost all the way down, and then starting to come back up. And so again, lowering, bending the elbows, keeping your hips high right over the knees, and then inhale to straighten the arms. So starting to feel the triceps warm up a little bit while you keep the neck and jaw relaxed. One more. Slowly lowering, setting the elbows all the way onto the floor this time and walking the legs back to find our Sphinx pose. Draw the chin slightly towards the front of the throat, not overdoing that, but just enough. And then rolling your chin over that right shoulder as you drive your left elbow firmly into the floor. And breathing into the left side of the neck. then coming back through center and turning the chin to the other shoulder as you drive now your right elbow into the floor. And then bringing the head back to center. Chin's going to come to the chest. You're going to start to lift your bottom ribs and the navel and then the thighs. And your knees will stay on the floor for now. And you're going to begin to squeeze elbows and knees strongly together. And then also squeeze the forearms towards each other and the knees towards each other. So we're squeezing to two midlines. One is that parallel to the spine and the other one that's perpendicular to the spine. You can let the head relax if you feel your neck tensing. 2 more slow, smooth breaths. And then setting thighs, hips, navel onto the floor, and then releasing your right arm out, shape of a T, sliding your left hand in. And so you can look to the left, and you're going to slowly roll onto that right side, setting the temple onto the floor. See what happens if you press all 4 corners of that right palm into the mat or into the floor, and notice how that changes things a little. And you're going to roll back to your front body. You're going to straighten the other arm out and slide that right hand under the chest and slowly roll onto that left side. Start to find all 4 corners of that palm pressing into the mat. And then roll back to the front body. Both hands come under the shoulders. Anchor hips, thighs, and feet into the floor, and breathe in and lift the chest. The hands can hover so that you're ensuring just the back body's doing the work here. We're not pressing into the floor. Allow the shoulder blades to slide to the hips. Take 2 more expansive breaths into the low belly. And then hands can release back. We're going to press our way back to table, walking the knees back in. Breathe in, pull the chest forwards. As you exhale, chin to chest. And like we did coming into that tiny forearm plank, we're going to start to lift the bottom ribs and then the belly button. And then finally the tailbone anchors to the floor. From our cat back, you can step your right foot outside of the pinky and walk your left knee back. Squeeze the legs together. If your knee feels sensitive on the floor, you can fold your mat over, use a folded blanket underneath that knee for extra cushion. You're allowing the head to bow to the chest, the shoulders to slide away from the ears, and breathing as you squeeze the legs together. And then curl your back toes under, lift that back knee up, and then we're going to walk the hands forwards, and you're going to kick that leg up to the sky. And so finding a gentle standing splits. It's early for our hamstrings, so maybe bending the standing leg just a little bit, allowing the head to bow to the floor, but sending that back heel up as high as you can. Last breath in. And then exhale, you can release the left foot down, breathe in, lift halfway up, and exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Feet squeeze towards each other, arms sweep up and overhead. we're finding our chair pose, and concentrating on hugging into the midline, allowing the shoulders to relax. And we're going to find that mudra we've been working on in past videos, that right palm's going to face the chest, left palm out, hook the fingers, descend the shoulders down the back, and try to pull the hands apart. Keep squeezing the feet and the knees towards each other without them actually caving in. Another inhale. And then on your exhale, straighten the legs and fold. Inhale to lift halfway up. Exhale, bow. And then inhale, arms reach out wide up to the sky. Interlace fingers, just the index fingers are pointing upwards. Both heels anchor into the floor. And then reach over to the right. Send your hips to the left. Lay your head on that right arm. Breathe. See what happens if you really drive your right foot into the floor. Your next exhale brings you back to center. Breathe and reach up, and then over. Taking a few more breaths here. And then returning to center, exhale to fold in. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, bow, bend the knees, reach the arms out wide and up. Chair pose. Now the feet and the legs are trying to widen, like we're trying to stretch our mat. And then left palm in, right palm out. Hook the fingers, pull. Slide the shoulders down the back. Check in. Are you still trying to push the feet and knees apart? And then release and fold in Uttanasana. Inhale, lift halfway. As you exhale, plant the palms. Lower the knees to the edges of the mat. Big toes touch, finding your child's pose. Forehead to the floor. While you're here, I'm getting my phone situated.